through a lying down leg series today. We just need your bodies and your mat. So when you're ready, let's make your way down onto your back, keeping those knees nice and bent, lying down, head, neck and shoulders nice and relaxed on the floor. Just have a little wriggle around just to make sure you're nice and decompressed. You've got those knees hip width apart along with those feet, and just relax those toes, let them splay out to the mat. Let's place hands on pelvis, so heels of hands to hips, fingertips glide in towards your pubic bone, and we'll just take some pelvic tilts here. So by pelvic tilt, what I mean is I want you to flatten your lower back into the mat and then gently tip your pelvis forward. You'll create an arch in your lower back, and just continue to rock between those two positions there. So you'll feel your hands rocking with that pelvis forward and back. Sometimes it can feel a little bit stiff to start, but with each rock, you might find you can take that pelvis a little further in either direction. Now let's slide those hands down by your side and just continue to rock that pelvis forward and back. And when you're ready, we're going to continue with your imprint. So you flatten down, and we're going to start to lift your hips gently away from the mat, then your lower back, middle back, upper back. So you find that bridge position. Let's take an inhale at the top and exhale to make your way back down. Rib cage, middle back, lower back, reversing. So all the way back to your tailbone and repeat. So you start with the imprint, you tuck the tailbone and you roll it up. So finding that really nice articulating bridge, and then making your way back down. Similarly to your tilt, you might find you feel a little bit stiff, a little rigid, those first few bridges. I know my shoulders are feeling a bit tight today, so I have to make a bit of effort to really press them down into the floor. So just be kind to yourself those first few reps, and then you should find that you start to loosen up. Now we're gonna go 4 more just like so before we start to add on to this sequence. Starting to get a little bit more height every time you lift those hips, driving your heels into the floor. Let's go for 2 more here. Just checking in those knees are nice and parallel, so inner thighs are active. They've got a bit of work to do today. On that next bridge, let's hold those hips up nice and high. So tucking that tailbone at the very top. Now from here, I want you to lead with that tailbone. You're gonna drop it down about 3/4 of the way towards the mat, and then tuck that bum, lift back up, then start with your ribs and roll back down, just like we did previously. Release at the bottom, and then we roll back up. Imprint, tuck your tailbone. So you roll the hips up into your bridge, you meet at the top. We take 1 hip dip. So lead with your tailbone, drop, and then lift, then start at the top to roll back down, bit by bit. So we're taking 1 articulating bridge, 1 hip dip, and then rolling back down. So moving your spine through flexion and extension. Take your hip dip at the top, lift, roll back down. Some people find that hip dip a bit tricky to navigate if you're really stiff through the hips. So it's a really good one to get some dissociation between your pelvis and your lower back. So again, think fold at the front of the hips, drop the tailbone, and then tuck and lift back up, and then roll back down bit by bit. We're gonna go a couple more like that before we meet at the top. So imprint, roll it up, drive those knees forward, dip the hips, tuck and lift it up, roll back down. Good, let's go 2 more like so. Find that height at the top every single time. Dip the hips, lift the hips, roll it back down. We've got 1 more, that full sequence to come. Roll it all the way up. Let's dip the hips, lift, roll back down. Next time you find your bridge, meet me at the top. So let's imprint, tuck that tailbone, roll it all the way up. It's just those hip dips. So drop and lift on repeat. Fold at the front of the hips, tuck and lift. Lead with your tailbone. So really exaggerate that arch of your back as you drop it down. You go wide through your bottom, through your sit bones, and then you narrow lift. Let's go 8 here. Starting to feel nice and warm in the back of the legs. You've got 6, lift. You've got 5. Press those shoulders into the floor. That's me reminding myself just as much as you guys. Let's go 3. We hold in 2. Last one, let's hold those hips up at the top. Really tuck that tailbone under. We're gonna keep the height through the hips. Allow both knees to split apart, and then can you bring them together to touch? So they split, and then they touch through center. So the challenge here is to not dip down through the hips. Keep that height and see if you can get that connection of your knees, your inner thighs through center. And that's where you'll really feel those inner thighs start to connect. If it doesn't feel so nice on your knees, reduce the range, okay? If you're tight through the front of the legs, that can be a challenge on the knees at times. Let's go 6 more here. Little relief in 5. All the way out, all the way in for 4. Work the range, you can keep your hips high. 3. Last 2. Last one, come back to parallel. Let's slowly roll all the way back down to your tailbone. Just pause at the bottom. If you need a little knee hug or you need a little rock of your knees side to side, feel free. When you're ready, reset. So knees back towards the ceiling. Let's get into some single leg loading. So we're gonna roll back up into that bridge, tuck that tailbone, hold it up nice and high. I want you to bring your focus to your right glute. Okay, in order to help that along, let's push your right heel for dear life into the floor. Nothing changes right side. You float that left leg to tabletop. Hips stay really nice and level. Now from here, just the toes of that left foot tap back down to the floor, and then they lift back to tabletop. So it's a little tap and a lift. Now, if this feels challenging, that's because it is, okay? Any single leg bridge work is hard. We're really biasing through one side, so there's a lot going on. Really try and focus on that nice, stable, level pelvis. Tap it down, lift it up. Let's go for 5 here, and then we'll meet with that leg lifted. You'll be feeling that right glute and hamstring working hard, no doubt. Tuck that bottom under. 3. We hold the leg in tabletop in 2. Last one, let's hold that leg up in tabletop. It's a single leg bridge. You roll your spine all the way down, just as like we did before, and then you roll it back up. And I want you to imagine you have both feet on the floor. That's helpful because then it's a little easier to think about level hips as you lift and lower. That's 3. We're gonna go for 5 more, and then we'll finish with a little peak at the top. Try and get the same height with this single leg bridge that you did with your doubles. Alright, let's go for 4 more. We'll hold it nice and high in 3. Last 2, try and roll that spine just like we did before. Last one, meet me at the very top of that bridge, guys. Just hold it. Now you can keep that knee bent, little extra challenge. Point your toes, stretch the leg to ceiling. Let's pulse it here, lift, lift. Try and get that toe right up to the roof for 6. Just 5, stretch the knee. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knee, replace that foot to the floor. Roll it all the way back down, and let's bring those knees in for a nice cuddle. Little massage side to side. Well done, righty-tighty. Okay, now from here, we're gonna roll straight over onto your left side. So right side is up, lying yourself all the way down on a bent or a straight left arm, whatever's comfier for your shoulder. And we're gonna straighten those legs all the way out, heels in line with hips, and they're really nice and stacked. When the legs are stacked, you might find you need some fingers on the floor just for a bit of support. That's okay. More challenge, hand to your hip. Relax that head down nice and heavy. Now push that top hip away. Let's create some space between your bottom waist and the mat there. Core is on, giving us some stability. It's that top leg that's gonna find a float away from your bottom leg and then lower back down. Nice controlled pace here as you lift and lower. Not swinging forward or back and not sagging down into the floor. You'll find there is a good height here that you lift just shy of collapsing and kind of going a bit flimsy through your waist, and we'll all look different depending on hip range of movement and strength in that leg. So you just focus on the range that you're in control of today. Feeling that warmth in the outside of that right hip, sort of shifting our focus to the outside rather than the back, which we were just working before. Let's go for another 6 here, and then we're gonna get that bottom leg into play. In 5. 4 to go. Keep reaching out long through that foot as it lifts and lowers. So you're creating length through that waist. Let's go for 2. Last one, legs glued together. Now both legs float away from the floor. Both legs lower back down. This is where it gets really tempting to kind of throw your legs up with pace. Let's keep that controlled, smooth movement. Remember, fingertips can find the floor if you need. Lifting the weight of both of those legs will require a bit of your waist. So your right obliques, you'll start to feel warming up here. Exhale as you lift the leg, inhale to control lower. If you want to think about that breath, what I'm most interested in is that you just don't hold your breath. All right, let's go for 6 more with this double leg lift. In 5, we progress. In 4, relax the head, neck and shoulders. In 3, all the way up and down for 2. Last one, you're gonna lower it down just 3/4 of the way, hold it. So your bottom leg is hovering. Again, it's that top leg that lifts, top leg that lowers. So they're both still active. Inner thigh of that bottom leg working to keep that leg hovering off the ground. Lift and control lower. Focuses back into that top leg. So it doesn't have the help of that bottom leg to lift and lower now. Let's go 6 here. Changing it up in 5. Leg starts to feel heavy, don't let it go floppy. 4. You've got 3. In 2. Last one, your top leg meets that bottom leg. Now, can you give yourself a bit of a challenge? You're gonna lift that top leg maybe 3/4 of the way. It's now bottom leg that lifts to the top and then lower down, but don't go to the floor. Okay, stop shy of the floor. So you lift and lower. You decide what's the appropriate height to challenge yourself there. So you gotta have that leg high enough that it's a bit of an effort to get there, but not too high that you can't quite reach. All right, not here long, because those legs are starting to get heavy. Let's go for 6 more. 5 here. Try and keep that bottom leg nice and straight as it lifts, so you're lifting the whole leg, not just the ankle. Let's go for 3. For 2. Last one, both legs lower down just shy of the floor, hold it. Okay, from here, I'm gonna put my fingertips in front, a little bit of support. Your top knee bends to a tabletop, and then you extend it back out. So challenging that stability. Pull the leg in front of your hip, and then reach it back out again. Bottom leg is still staying active as that top leg moves through space. And try and keep that knee parallel to floor as it glides forward. Don't let it spiral down. Fingertips on the floor are totally fine, but just don't death grip the ground. Okay, so nice and light through that hand as that leg glides in and out. Let's go for 5 more, it's just the top leg. Then it's a little double leg challenge for 4. You've got 3. Last 2. Last one, just that top leg. We're gonna glue those legs together. Both legs take a little tuck. Bring them in front of your hips, reach it away. Try to stay stacked, right hip on top of left. That's definitely the challenge. Pull it in and reach it out. Feeling that top waist working hard, helping support the weight of those legs. In you come, reach it away. Let's go 5 here. It's a deep bend and then it's a long reach. 4 more. You've got 3. And 2. Last one, meet me with those legs bent. All right, now from here, drop the legs down so your bottom thigh is in contact with the floor, but the feet are still lifted. Your heels stay super glued together. That top knee lifts, top knee lowers, so coming into rotation. Now just checking again, your stack, right hip on left. Your tailbone is back. We've still got that length through your waist. All right, so our side lying neutral is still consistent. Shifting that focus behind that hip a little bit more as we work into our rotators here. All right, pretty spicy in that back pocket of my glute now. Let's go for 6. We'll hold the knee high in 5. In 4. Let's just go for 3. In 2, meet me with that knee up nice and high, little top range pulses, lift and lift. Let's go for 10, 9, nearly there, 7, just for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, give me a hold at the top, knee is high, squeeze those heels together, that's a little deep, a bit of burn in that glute, hold 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, drop it down, good job. Give that bottom a little bit of a pummel. I'm just gonna spin myself around. Let's come back over onto your back. Have a lie down, bend those knees. We're gonna bring that right foot over that left knee there. Figure 4, that might be enough. You might already feel a stretch in your glute. Otherwise, let's collect that left thigh. Pull it in nice and tight towards you, and you've got that right leg pressing away. You can use your elbow there to push it out. So it's a push and pull. You pull your thighs in, you push your right leg out. Nice deep breath, giving that right side some relief. You can take little rocks side to side. You might find as you shift to the left, that deepens that stretch that little bit more. Nicely done. All right, we better even things up. So have a little shake out, pop those feet back to the floor when you're ready. Knees pointing up towards the ceiling, parallel, hip width apart. And let's just take those hands back to your pelvis. Consciously just let go through your glutes. Takes a bit of encouragement there after that burn. All right, so coming back into that pelvic tilt, feeling that movement of your pelvis beneath your hands. So ideally, you should be feeling a lot freer than when we started earlier on. When you're ready, continue with the tilt. Just take those hands back down by your side, open up that chest, and we'll start to peel your hips away from the floor. Let's come back into that double leg bridge, tucking that tailbone for a pause at the top before you ripple and roll all the way back down, releasing that tailbone. We'll just take a few more here to reset, rolling it up, driving those knees forward, and then imprinting bit by bit on that way back down. Trying to get that same height that we achieved last time, really opening out through the front, connecting through the back. Let's just go for 3 more like this before we start to add that hip dip. Let's go for 2. Nice and parallel through those knees. Last one, rolling to the top, hold it there. Now again, lead with the tailbone dip, all the way 3/4 of the way you'll do, down to the mat, lift, roll back down. So it's a rolling bridge, then it's a hip dip. So we roll it all the way back up, tuck that tailbone, lift to the very top, dip the hips, lift the hips, and then make your way back down bit by bit. Again, getting that spine moving should feel great. Lift, 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 drop it down, maybe tap the mat, tuck and lift, roll back where you came from. Let's go 3 like this, team, and then we'll meet at the top for just those hip dips. Release, and lift, down you come. Let's go for 2 more. Press those shoulder blades down into the floor, open your collarbones. All right, last full round like so. Lift, drop it down, lift it up, down you come. We're gonna meet at the top on that next one. Tuck that tailbone, drive those knees forward, 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 forward. It's just that hip dip. You release and you lift. Widen those sit bones, narrow and lift. Drop, up you come. Let's go 6. We'll hold at the top in 5. Push through those heels, 4. In 3, inner thighs active, in prep, 2. Last one, let's tuck and lift those hips to the very top, soften your ribs, tuck your bottom. We're gonna open those knees out wide and see if you can connect them together through center. So we open and we close. Try and keep those feet down. So the movement very much comes from your hips, not so much those ankles. And we're moving ideally symmetrically if you can. Open it out, squeeze them together. Let's go 5 here, then we'll get into that single-sided work, 4. Keep the hips up for the final 3. And 2. Last one, give them a squeeze through center, separate just to parallel, and then let's slowly roll it back down. Awesome, bit by bit, releasing that tailbone at the bottom. Take a little rock if you need, or a little cuddle. Back to parallel. All right, let's make our way back up to that bridge, nice and high through the hips. Nice tuck of that tailbone. Left leg is our focus side. Push your heel down, connect that glute as you float that right leg to tabletop. Nothing else changes. All right, now it's a nice light tap of those toes to the floor before they float back up again. Okay, now this is tough. There is a temptation to bounce off the floor. Try and be super light as you just tap the toes and then lift back up and keep the height through the hips as that right leg moves. Awesome work, team. Left thigh staying really still. These are tough. Let's go 4 more. You've got 3 more taps and we'll keep that leg still in tabletop. Don't be surprised if one side's harder than the other. I'm feeling it more on this side for sure. Last one, let's hold that leg in tabletop. We're gonna roll back down. It's as if both feet are planted. You roll back up again, nice level hips. You've got 8 of these. Down you go. And rise all the way up. That's 2. Tuck and lift it up. 5 to go, guys. Exhale on the lift. Let's go for 4. In 3, we'll meet at the top for those little cheeky pulses. In it together, team. Let's go 2. All right, last one. Let's hold those hips at the top. You can keep that leg bent. More challenge. You stretch the knee, point the toes to ceiling, pulse it up for 8, 7, just 6, 5, 4, lift, 3, 2, 1. Bend that leg, find the floor, roll it all the way back down. Ooh, sweet relief. Take a sec, hug those knees in, little massage of that lower back. Brilliant. And then let's come over onto your right side. We're gonna even things up. Okay, so take a second just to set yourself up here, relaxing down onto that right bicep. Get that head back in line with shoulders. Let's lengthen out those legs. We're gonna stack that top hip on your bottom and really push away. So let's get some space between your bottom waist and the mat. Okay, so first things first, it's that top leg only that lifts away from the bottom leg and then you control back down. It's a straight up and down, so don't let it rock forward or back. And again, work the height that you're keeping long through your waist. You're not kind of going floppy and collapsing into the floor just like that. You want to stay nice and stable. Make sure your head is heavy in your arms. Okay, you can carry tension there without realizing it. So good just to do a little screen through the body every now and then. Make sure you're not carrying tension where it's definitely not needed. Control lift, lower back down. Now we've got 6 more with just this top leg before we welcome the bottom leg a little bit more to the party. In 4. Let's go for 3. Just 2. Last one, just that top leg. We glue the legs together. It's now bottom leg and top leg that float, and then lower. So lift together, lower down. So this is where you'll start to feel that left waist. Saying hello. Try and keep those legs straight as they float away and get some good clearance of that right thigh off the mat. Sometimes this can be a little tender on your bottom hip, so if you're feeling that, you can always double up your mat or lie extra towel just to give you a little bit of padding under the hip there. Let's go for another 5, both legs moving. In 4. Last 3. We'll hold them up in 2. All right, let's hold both legs up. Top leg stays where it is. Drop the bottom leg, lift the bottom leg. If you want more challenge, lift that top leg a little bit higher, then fix it in place. And it's that bottom leg that comes to meet the top leg and then back down. Good. Lift and lower. Give me 6 here. In 5. 4 to go. Long reach. Reach out and up. 3. Last 2. Okay, last one, it comes to meet the top leg. Lower that bottom leg just off the ground. Let's keep it active and we'll get back into that top leg. She'll feel good to move it. It lifts, it lowers. All right, so bottom leg is still active, challenging that balance. Up you go, down it comes. Feeling really warm in that outer hip for sure. Let's go 6 here. Good. And 5. 4 to go. Last 3. And 2. Last one, let's glue those legs together. Okay, they're staying hovering. Bottom leg stays where it is. You might need fingertips to floor. That top leg bends in front of your hip and then reach it away. Try and get that knee, shin, ankle parallel to floor as it glides in and out, and try not to death grip the mat. So you're getting stability out of your bottom leg and through those deep core muscles. Good. We're gonna go 5 more with just that single leg moving before they both get going together. In 4, stretch away. In 3, good. For 2, reach. Last one, let's stretch it away. Okay, they come together now. So both legs take your little tuck and then stretch. Try not to roll backwards as you find the tuck. And you'll be feeling those waist muscles working a little bit here as well. More bang for buck. Pull it in. Reach it away. Let's go for 6, then we'll keep that knee bend. In 5. 4 more. Stretch it long all the way, each direction of equal importance for 3. Last 2. All right, legends, let's bend those legs in. You're gonna keep the feet up, but drop the thigh down so you've got right thigh contact, heels are lifted. We squeeze your heels together. It's that top leg that rotates up and down. I've got my hand on my top hip, so where my thumb is landing, that's where I really wanna feel that connection as my hip spirals deep within that hip socket. Lift and lower. The more you squeeze the heels together, the better here. And let's keep long through the waist, tailbone is back. We've got 8, and then we're gonna hold that knee up for those top range pulses. In 6. Let's go for 5. 4 more, nice controlled pace, make the most of each movement. 3. Last 2. All right, my friends, let's hold that knee at the top, pulse it up, lift, squeeze those heels. Let's go 8, we hold in 7, just for 6. 5, last 4, 3, 2, hold that knee at the very top, really squeeze those heels together. Final hold, hold 8, 7, squeeze. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, drop the knee, drop those ankles down, awesome. Well done, lefty loosey. All right, flipping over onto your back, let's give that left side a bit of love. So we're gonna take that foot over the right knee, just press that knee out. Take a second there, and then collect that right thigh. Let's pull it in towards your chest. So you pull the thigh in and you push that left side out. So pull and push to really embrace the stretch. And close those eyes down, give those legs a little rock side to side. Great effort today, my friends. And then when you're ready, gently releasing through those legs, making your way up from there. Thank you for joining me. See you later.